Stock phrases are basically a library of phrases which are commonly used for certain types of products, such as non-flammable water-based cleaners, or products with certain hazards, such as eye or skin irritants. To access a stock phrase for a particular item, click into the item, and in this particular case, we are in the First Aid tab and in the Skin Contact cell. We can either under Edit click on the Stock button or use the shortcut Control K. And as a reminder, we see that the K is in square brackets. We will go ahead, open up the stock phrase window. Let's see how this is organized. The first column is the category. And as you can see, this reminds us that we are actually in First Aid Skin Contact. The second column is the phrase, and there are, in this case, a list of different possible phrases to choose from. And then we move over to the examples where the phrase was used. And there are additional columns for language and also translation or translated phrases. In our particular case, this is a cleaner type 2, and again, if you haven't seen the videos on assigning GHS hazard classes, we recommend that you do take a look at those. Those are found in tab 2, and that describes how to assign and enter GHS hazards, which are important to do prior to certain steps. Anyhow, let's go ahead and we assume that we have a skin corrosion irritation category 2. Under examples, we might look for an example that's appropriate, and in this particular case we do see a statement here, skin corrosion irritation 2. We can highlight that and click on the paste selected phrase, or double click on the number 9, which is the first column to the far left, and that will simply add the phrase to the cell that we were in. Let's look at some other options. Again, in the stock phrase window, if we click on Show Editing Options, we have options for deleting, for importing and exporting stock phrases, for adding examples where the stock phrase was used, for creating new stock phrases and duplicating stock phrases. In our particular example, let's go ahead and let's add to our list of examples our particular product where we use that phrase. So we'll click back into that row and simply click on the Add Example where the phrase is used. We'll accept that, and notice that under Examples our particular product was just added. Let's look at ways to create a new phrase. We will click on the New Phrase button, and we have a couple of different options. We can add the existing content, or we can decide to create a brand new phrase. In our particular case, we'll add the existing content. And you'll see what just happened is we essentially just copied the phrase from that cell into the phrase cell here, and also the example. Our product example is added to that column. So this is a simple and a sort of a neat way to add to your stock phrase collection. If we had clicked on the New Phrase button and selected the Don't Add Existing Content, then it essentially gives us a sort of a blank slate to enter and create a new phrase. But it does copy the example into the example box, which is useful. If we had clicked on the Duplicate or Copy phrase, it's possible that there's a phrase that we really like, but maybe we want to slightly edit it. So perhaps we like this phrase, but we want to make a couple changes to it. We can simply highlight the phrase and copy it. And it's essentially made a copy, but perhaps we want to change the time to 20 minutes and maybe say this is a special case of irritant, perhaps we'll put a double star or an asterisk next to it to remind us that this is a more conservative rinse time for the skin.